Now, this was announced pretty much the same day as our last podcast, but it was so late that I decided to hold off, kind of let things settle. Um, so, 2 weeks ago was the celebration of Sonic's 25th birthday slash anniversary since the first game, and with that, there have been announcements of two new games. One of which is Sonic Mania, which seems to definitely have more attention right now. Um, so, a little bit of background on this. Sonic Mania is a collaboration between Christian Whitehead, who's been responsible for the Android, iOS, and most recent digital versions of Sonic 1, 2, and CD, I believe. And he's basically made his own graphics engine, recreated the games in those, and it's removed a lot of the graphical imperfections of the Genesis and Sega CD versions of those games. Also, they run natively in widescreen. They're easily the definitive versions of the classic Sonic games. But it seems he's been teamed up with a couple of others who have been making Sonic fan-made games for a while now, and this kind of seems like it is the Sega-sanctioned fan-made game for Sonic. You'll be able to play as Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. It'll play pretty much more or less like a Genesis Sonic game. They've introduced a new move called the drop dash. Basically, if you're curled up into a ball as you're falling, you can, I guess, probably just continue to tap the jump button, rev up, so that when you land, you kind of peel out and take off without losing all of your momentum and speed. And so that'll be interesting. It looks like, so far, they say that they are going to do new zones. During this trailer, they only showed two, which was a remix of Green Hill Zone, and the second one was a brand new one, I believe, called Studiopolis. And Studiopolis actually has like a whole bunch of different Sega callbacks and Easter eggs and all this stuff.
It kind of looks like a casino.
Casino slash arcade, I would say. Now, I think this is it's a really good move. I've listened to a lot of other Sonic fans opine about this over the last couple of weeks. Everyone likes to say that this is what Sonic the Hedgehog 4 episodes 1 and 2 should have been. I've played 1 and 2, or Sonic 4 episodes 1 and 2. I actually liked the direction that it was going in. I would not have minded an episode 3 at all. And yeah, those games definitely, I would argue, they call back to the 2D Sonic formula of of the Genesis games, but just having a much better graphical presentation. And I don't see why they get hated on a lot. I think the first game, people said that the physics weren't quite right, but then it's strange because everyone loves the Sonic Advance series, and the Sonic Advance games have a completely different physics feel to them than the Genesis games. So to me, you can't say, well, it doesn't feel like the Genesis games on this particular game, and then say, yeah, it's the same thing over here, but we love these games, and then have that be your reason for not liking these games over here. Doesn't make sense, but gamer's logic hardly ever does. So yeah, I don't really feel this is a comparison to Sonic 4. This is definitely and I don't even know if this is going to be a new story or if this is just kind of like a mix of sorts of different fan ideas thrown into an official game. So I'm looking forward to it, definitely. The animation looks to be top notch. It's definitely going to be a new experience, but from a Sega Genesis inspired look and feel to the game. But yeah, did you have a chance to check out the trailer?
I did. I honestly like. I really love the animation and like the design of everything. Like I feel like a lot of people think that maybe like games that are like get thrown back to like pixel design and pixel art. I feel like a lot of people get like thrown back by that kind of just like we have all these games like Call of Duty, all of the graphics are amazing, and then they see things like Shovel Knight or
All these indie titles that go back to the
yeah, and they're like,
pixelated
oh,
look.
it's like it's pixel. Like, why would I play that? It's like they're amazing. Like most indie games that I've played that look like that are amazing, and I honestly love the pixelation design that they give. Just like a throwback to like when gaming was getting good. Just all these great games had like amazing like 16-bit or 32-bit designs to them, and they just look great. And honestly, like this one looks, I love it just
Yeah.
because some of my I haven't played a lot of Sonic games, but I think some of my favorite Sonic games were was Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Sonic and Knuckles. Just I love those games because I actually ended up playing those as a kid. Whenever I would go to my aunt and uncle's house, they had a Genesis, and we would just play with them, and they're fun. And this kind of throws it back, which I feel like is a good direction for Sonic Team to go in because a lot of the things that they've been producing now, some of them have been good. They've been in the right direction. Some of them have been Sonic Boom. And I feel like maybe like throwing back to some of their better games will maybe like give them like a fresh reset.
Which it's it's good from a gamer's perspective, but as a Sonic fan, we kind of want to, or at least I shouldn't speak for everyone who's a fan of Sonic. Just for me, I would like to see okay, we can make a game that honors the speed-based, momentum-based platforming without having to completely go back 100%, because that's what Sonic the Hedgehog 4 was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a callback to Sonic's roots. And then it doesn't seem to work, and then we have to try it again. And as much as I love Sonic's roots, and I do feel there is room for, there's definitely room for 2D Sonic games and 3D Sonic games to exist side by side, just like with the 2D and 3D Mario games. But the only thing is it does get a little bit old for me when I keep seeing this. Hey, it's the classics again every couple of years. Hey, remember this Sonic games that you liked and everyone loved and they were universally approved and accepted? You know, let's revisit that. It's like I'm a little bit done revisiting that era. I want to see what else you can do, which is why I guess episode 4 kind of appealed to me because it kind of did go back to the formula of the 2D Sonic games that were missing, but without completely going retro. This is going to do well, and I am looking forward to it. It's just I do kind of want to see this rut that Sega finds themselves in with, oh, we messed up. We have to go back to the roots. You know, I'd like for that cycle to come to an end, and it seems like they're pretty much incapable of doing that.
Yeah,